since July 5th, 2021.
The day Jennifer lost her husband.
That was the day he was getting killed.
And the day she became homeless.
My RV was sitting destroyed.
Since then, she's found a new RV and a new family.
At least 10 to 15.
Who camp along this section of I-5 in North Portland.
It's to be a home. Like, we don't want to be out here. So that's why we literally painted it a white picket fence.
This camp has been on ODOT property for about a month without getting cleared.
Nice being actually being able to stay in one spot for a little bit.
Enough time to make it their own.
The inside of my tent is a little bit more homey feeling.
This is the best place for us, I guess.
ODOT is responsible for removing camps on state property within city limits, though that cleanup process has slowed in recent months. An ODOT spokesperson tells KGW, "We are low on staff, and funding under the new legislation won't start flowing until January." ODOT has faced a budget crisis for years. How to fix it has been an ongoing challenge for state lawmakers. They failed to pass a transportation funding package during this year's legislative session. Governor Tina Kotek then called a special session in August with a slimmed-down version of the bill, a last-ditch effort to avoid hundreds of ODOT layoffs and major service cuts. 3 weeks ago, it finally passed the Senate.
It is declared passed.
The governor has yet to sign it into law.
Well, I think it's pretty outrageous.
The bill includes tax hikes, which Republicans like Representative Ed Deal oppose. He wants to give voters the chance to decide.
I mean, the governor called us into an emergency session to pass an emergency tax for an agency supposedly in crisis. And now she's dragging her feet to sign this bill. The only reason to do that is to deny voters their right for an up or down vote on this tax.
The longer the governor takes to sign the bill, the less time Representative Deal has to gather the more than 78,000 signatures needed to refer parts of the bill to the November 2026 ballot.
So we have 90 days to collect signatures. And our clock started ticking on October 2nd.
It's really not in her best interest to give opponents any more time than absolutely necessary to try and overturn it.
Rick Metzger is a former Democratic state senator and transportation policy expert.
The thing to watch is the money trail. That's a lot of money that would have to be spent to have signature gathers in half the time that it would normally be, probably $1.5 to $2 million.
Governor Tina Kotek's press secretary, Roxy Mayer, told KGW the governor has 30 days after sine die, except Saturdays and Sundays, to take action on House Bill 3991, November 12th. When the transportation funding package was passed by the legislature, the pending layoffs and maintenance station closures were immediately canceled, preserving crucial transportation services.
I'll tell you what, she can delay this all she wants. We're still going to gather the signatures. We're still going to get this on the ballot, and Oregonians will remind Salem who really runs this state.
Now, regardless of when the governor signs the bill, again, she has until November 12th, ODOT won't get that money until January, meaning maintenance work like camp removals will remain slow for now.
Probably not much more longer.
Change is coming for Jennifer, too. She's on her way to housing.
Like, it's not as easy as everybody thinks. Honestly, I'm afraid to leave them out here. Because they won't be. I won't be out here when they need me to be out here. It's a network, and we all are family.
Now, not wanting to leave a street family behind is common and something that keeps many people, just like Jennifer, from wanting to exit homelessness. Okay, but as for the ODOT funding crisis, voters won't have a say on whether or not to repeal parts of the bill until November of next year. And that's only if Republicans gather enough signatures in time. If that happens, and the effort even qualifies for the ballot, an ODOT spokesperson tells us ODOT, cities, and counties would not receive any new transportation funding this January, and that they would need to make drastic cuts to balance their budget. So ODOT could be in another funding crunch, again, if this gets on the ballot next year. Yet another reason some believe Governor Kotek is in no rush to sign this bill. Her office has not responded to our question about whether or not this, in fact, is her strategy. But one thing we have seen throughout our time covering this is that transportation funding has become a hot political issue in Salem. I asked Rick Metzger about that and if he's ever seen this before.
That's actually quite sad. Historically in Oregon, transportation bills have always been bipartisan. I chaired the Senate Transportation Committee for 12 years. We passed 5 major bills, all with bipartisan support. And of course, none as a result were ever referred. And so this is frustrating because the transportation has been that one issue that Republicans and Democrats all want good streets. They all want new projects in their districts. And so this is very frustrating, I think, from a public standpoint, that they have politicized a basic necessity for all Oregonians.
Now, I asked him why he thinks that is and what he believes is fueling the political tension.
I think it's 2 things. I think the national tenor of politics is starting to permeate state politics as well. I think that's part of it. I think the second part of it is when you have supermajorities, especially with a lot of inexperienced legislators who aren't used to working collaboratively with the other side, that starts to also rise up and help that partisanship continue. That's unfortunate.
Again, the funding package waiting for the governor's signature is not a long-term solution. It's seen by many as a quick fix to the transportation agency's budget crisis, a Band-Aid, if you will. So it's likely to come up in some fashion during the short session next year and again during the 2027 long session. And we'll be watching. So what do you think about the GOP's efforts to put this bill to voters? Would you sign on to that idea? Why or why not? Let us know. Email the story at kgw.com or call and leave us a voicemail, 503-226-5090.